So, let's talk about the fine line between being egotistical and having self-love. I know you guys are like, this bitch. Okay, I'm calling everyone out, including myself. I just want you to know, I'm not the fish teaching the younger fish what water is. I am out here as one of the younger fish also figuring out what water is, okay? Like, so understand, I am a student, and that's why I'm teaching. So... self-love. Let's talk about let's just break those words down for a second, okay? To love. That's a verb, right? It's something we do. It's something we put time and energy and effort into, right? It's a discipline to love, right? The self, oneself. We always say that oneself. When we're talking about ourselves, we always put it in the context of one, number one, right? Taking care of number one first. Ace of Cups, the beginning of a love cycle always begins with the self in tarot, right? And so, so we start with oneself, right? And to do, right? To act in a matter of love towards oneself, we have to do love towards ourselves, right? We have to be love towards ourselves. It's a verb. It's something that we do. It's something we embody, and it becomes a title, you know? So it is a noun, it is a verb, it's all the fucking things, okay? It's all the things. So with being egotistical or narcissistic, it's putting off the image of loving oneself without doing any of the work, without putting in any of the effort, without all the positive reinforcement and self-talk, affirmations, all that shit, meditation, checking in with yourself, you know? That's the real defining difference, is the effort, the actual action of love. So yeah, I'm gonna push people to put their philosophy to use, right? So what do we do for people we love, right? I can't speak for you guys, so I'll explain from a double Aquarius perspective what I would do for love, right? I would wake up every day. I would put on the coffee. I would take care of the house, you know, like all this stuff, like actions, like things that you do for people you love, right? When we think about things that we want done for us, then it's not hard, right? Then we're like, you know, fucking movie days, fucking nail trips, whatever, you know, fucking day drinking on a sunny day by the river, whatever, you know, whatever things that you would want to do as an act of love, and say project that into another person. We'll just for 1 second fathom projecting that into yourself. Like, you say you just discovered this cool Italian restaurant and you're like, man, I ain't got a date, but I hella want to go, right? So you just get your fucking wallet and you go, right? Like, you ain't gotta ask nobody's permission. You just go and enjoy a fucking meal, right? And this is an act of love because you're doing something with yourself that you would do with somebody that you love, right? It's like, it's basics. It's the ABCs of love, I guess, you know? You gotta start with number one, the ace, right? You gotta start filling that cup by doing the acts of love. You would want your partner to be healthy, so you start, you know, eating healthy. You want somebody who is not argumentative, so you're not argumentative. You start embodying all the traits that you would believe love to be, right? Super honest, super trusting, super open, super whatever, you know, superhero, whatever. You just start embodying those traits, right? That you're like, okay. And by doing that, you're setting like a subconscious standard too for anybody around you. People are like, oh, this person holds themselves to a really high standard. We have to, you know, we have to meet them there, right? So they can't disrespect you. And if they disrespect you, they know that they're kind of like out, you know, they break your boundaries. They're kind of like out. It's like your self-love and your self-respect is so strong that other people start responding to that, right? And it's because you're doing the act of love on yourself, right? It's not just saying, I love myself. Look how cute I am as a selfie. I love myself. I'm taking a bubble bath. Whatever. It's more than that, bro. It's fucking put some salt in that bath and wash your sins away. Like fuck. It's self-love is the discipline of love. I wake up at like 4 o'clock every morning for myself because I want to spend some time with myself before I have to go and do anything else. For my whole day, I want to be up with myself, right? I want to be journaling. I want to be doing tarot reads. I want to have my fucking coffee. Like, I'm going to do these things as an act of love towards myself because it makes me happy. It makes my life more full. It makes it more abundant, right? And just these little switches, transitions in how I behave towards myself, right? I'm like, I used to, just kind of need other people's validation. Okay, I'm gonna be real. No, shut up. Yeah, I did. And I woke up one day. I'd been, with my husband on and off for like a decade, and and I was not a great partner. I'll be real. Like, I was not fantastic at it. I did not know what I was doing. I had to do this first, right? And it kind of took like going through it to kind of understand it too. It kind of reminds me of that song, Chemicals by Tiger's Jaw, where he's like, we're all made out of chemicals, and I don't know, you gotta fucking just go listen to the song, whatever. Like, but yeah, so, it's like I learned how to love when I fell out of love, kind of energy, like, and it was like because I realized I wasn't loving myself. I wasn't putting that kind of energy into myself. How could I be love for somebody else if I couldn't even do it for me? I couldn't even show up for myself every day. And so I had kind of like a whole fucking awakening based on this. Like, I wasn't showing up for myself. And so it was showing in my relationships that, like, and I woke up and I was like, dude, I don't remember the last time I was single. I don't remember the last time I had a thought in my head and it didn't go into somebody else's ears. Like, when was the last time I sat in silence and didn't speak my fucking mind? Like, it was like a real awakening to have time with myself. And it was almost like the projection of myself that I was putting out there was so different from the self that I was building a relationship with. And it's so weird when that happens. You find the duality in yourself and you kind of like integrate your shadow a bit, and you work on shit like childhood traumas and things like that. I know people are like so tired of hearing it probably, but that's really a big fucking thing. Like, you have to realize, like, I was like, why can't I like have relationships that stick, whatever. And I really meditated on that. And then one day I was like, dude, I was raised by a fucking band of gypsies. Like, my mom was always moving me. Like, I was always on the go. Yes. Sorry, my son was coming out. But yeah, so what was I saying? Band of gypsies. Yeah, I was like raised by a band of gypsies, and we were always fucking moving, always on the go. Nobody stayed in my life, There were just so many inconsistencies with that. So now, like, I had to learn to really heal that childhood trauma and be like, this is why I struggle to keep people in my life, because this is how my first idea of love. You love somebody, they go away. Like that was all I was ever, that was my love language. That's what I learned. But then through the course of loving myself and not abandoning myself, it was like learning how to process life a little bit different, and kind of learning how to just get on with it, like not be so stuck in all that. And to learn to not be afraid to have people stay in your fucking life, Like, I don't know, I really realized that, like, my mom's in the hospital right now, and she's really sick, you know, and I just, like, I guess I kind of took her for granted, you know, and now this is kind of happening, and it's like, you know, when there is a permanent person, right? Somebody you're like, they'll never go. Then the shit like this happens, and you're like, oh, they might go. You know, like fuck. And it's kind of a, you know, I don't want to use it as reinforcement for what I grew up feeling or believing, you know, and that's the healing aspect of it, because I don't abandon myself. So even when I get faced with these challenges or these obstacles, it's like I have to face something that was lying underneath, you know, some fear deep down, or some doubt, some shame, whatever, that was keeping me kind of afraid to get close to people, you know, like whatever it was, you know, like any assault from my childhood, I immediately would be like, oh, you know, like I can't get too close to anybody, they'll just hurt me. Like, they're gonna hurt my feelings, and no, you know, and it's like, there's a lot of healing, bro. There's a lot of work that has to be done with that kind of shit. And it's like, jumping straight into another relationship couldn't heal that, couldn't fix that, it would keep me distracted from actually doing the work I needed to do on myself. There's a lot of fucking helicopters out. Holy shit. But anyway, that's kind of weird. Just saying. Okay, anyway, yeah, so, you know, it's this overcoming of shit that you gotta do, you know, you come to this, like, realization in yourself where you're like, dude, I cannot keep living this life that I thought I was cursed. I thought I was like somebody put a hex on me, and then it was like, dude, I cursed myself. I cursed myself with all that I grew up learning, you know. It was like this enculturation, and I have to like unlearn all this shit. Like, they taught me how to be a grown-up. You know how fucking hard it is to ungrow up? Okay? Like, I'm over here, like, I'm like, alright, what do I do? Grabbing a Nerf gun, trying to get the kids every chance I get, you know, and just pulling out the fucking lightsabers, and it's like, I have to get back in touch with what it actually means to be alive and to experience every present moment as though the past didn't fucking happen, as though that shit doesn't get me, you know, anymore. The past doesn't exist anymore. So it's like a freedom. It's like breaking free of old patterns, old cycles, things that were holding me down, you know, anchoring me. These old feelings, these old beliefs I held on to so tightly. Dude, all my beliefs have been so fucking altered in the last couple of years, and it's like, some things, it's just, you know, it becomes too much, you know. God just starts really fucking showing a presence, you know, and you can't deny it when it becomes so fucking evident in your life, you know. And so I had to overcome a lot, all my cognitive dissonance, all that. I don't even talk shit about people. People are like, so and so's racist, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna pray for them. You go, oh man, that's rough, you know. I ain't even trying to convince nobody of nothing. I'm praying for them. You know, I ain't here for no fights. And I think, you know, that's kind of part of the ascension process, is separating yourself from those past mindsets, you know, the things that are limiting and kind of holding you back from life. What's the point of sitting there doing all the studying of philosophy if you're not going to do the one main basic practice that it teaches, and that is to live, you know? So you learn the purpose of life by living life. You learn who you are by discovering what you are. You are your actions. And when you start loving yourself, you are love, you know, and you're a light. And you are able to spread like a fucking wildfire. And so that's, yeah, this is the ascension journey, guys. This is what it's all about. It's hard as fuck. Good luck. But you found me, so you're stuck. You're stuck on the journey. This is like a gang. Once you're in, you're fucking in it. The trials keep coming, Hercules, and Zeus is like, prove yourself. Fucking prove yourself. Every fucking lesson, every fucking obstacle. Prove yourself. The obstacle is the way. Ryan Holiday once said that, and I fucking love that. He wrote a whole book on it. The obstacle is the way. So take it. Take that lesson. Learn it. Absorb it. Become your lessons. Be so embodied by all the lessons that you are a fucking walking teacher. You know, you help others, you know. That's what learning is about. Sharing the wealth, you know. But I'm gonna stop rambling now. I'm gonna go smoke some more weed. I will talk to you later. Have a great day.